Good morning everyone, today we're going to be focusing on the Force class because if you guys missed yesterday's video, I did say that I was interested in learning the Force properly, and so I've been spending the past 20 or so hours just kind of experimenting with the class and trying to figure things out. But before we jump into the rest of the video, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over is the Force class has changed a lot since I last played it. You know, usually I just play the Force for PSE bursting, it just zonde, and everything dies. Very straightforward, very simple. But the Force class has changed quite a bit. They've had a couple new tweaks and new skills that actually change its playstyle a little bit. But before we do that, we do need to fix our gear. So as you can see over here, I am just full glass cannon over here, and I'm using a Verschmel katana. Now, the reason why I can actually use it as a rod is of course because I multi-weaponed it. But the Verschmel weapon, it's okay, but it's not really cutting it. Obviously, I would prefer to use my rare weapon. So over here, let's pull out our rare weapon. As we can see, here is our rare katana with Fixa Fatale 3 with all these really nice augments. So obviously, I would like to use that weapon, but as a rod. So how exactly am I going to do that? Well, we're actually just going to get an MK1 weapon and multi-weapon it. So instead of building another rare weapon and exchanging it into a rod, we're going to save ourselves a lot of money, and instead we're just going to go to the Arcs Record Badge Exchange over here, and we are going to pick up a Rare Rod MK1, alright? So this will cost us 30 Arcs Record Badges, so let's pick one up, and that way we are saving a metric butt ton of materials, because normally if you wanted to get one of these rare weapons, let's go to the rod right here, we're talking about 75 Icicle Cubes 2, 300 Icicle Orbs 2, as well as 500 Icicle Cubes. This, you know, it's still effort. You do need to go to the Gorge area, farm a little bit, or farm the limited time quest in order to get all of these materials. But we don't have time for that. We're just going to be running the Arch records and getting, you know, the MK1 weapon. Then what we're going to do over here is we are simply going to go to multi-weapon. We're going to select our main weapon, which is of course the rare katana, because it has the Fixa, it's fully augmented, its weapon potential is fully unlocked. We're going to click on this and look at this. The MK1 weapon pops us as a material item selection. So we're going to click on this, we're going to go yes, and as we can see here, it will cost us 500,000 Meseta as well as 100 Photon Quartz, but it's perfectly fine because we're just going to link them together and wha-bam! Now we have a rare katana, but if we go to the page 2, it's also linked with a rod. Now the reason why I can do this is simply because the augments on my rare katana, as you can see, gives me 24.4% melee potency, but also gives me 24.4 tech potency. So by multi-weaponing these two weapons together, it's still fine. So now we can go over here, we can take off our Verschmel weapon and put in our rare katana. As you can see, our rare katana is just plus everything. We're gonna get more battle power, more HP, more photon power, more attack, more damage adjustment. Our damage resistance is still going to be in the negatives, but it's less, I guess. And then of course all of the resistances are going to change, and our potency. So that is very, very nice. So we are actually going to do that across the entire board. For those who are wondering why I have 6 weapon palettes of the same weapon, it's because the way that I like to do things is I go down the list. So, you know, my first skills are going to be Fiore, then I'm going to have the ice skills, then I'm going to have the lightning skills, and then I'm going to have the wind skills over here, and then I'm going to have light over here, and finally with darkness at the end. So this is how I managed to have all of the different elements as a Force player, and I actually use all 6 weapon palettes. So there we go. And with that out of the way, we are going to put away our Verschmel weapon. And let us take a look at our stats now. 4,062 battle power. And if we look at our stats right here, 171.3 tech potency. Now, the thing I don't know about the Force class is how important are crits. Because when I was using the Verschmel weapon with 100% crit, I don't know, I felt like the damage was kind of meh. But then again, it could be because, you know, obviously I'm not max level yet, I'm still just messing around. So there's that. Another question I have for you guys is, what subclass does Force actually use? I just currently have Waker because I was doing a couple urgent quests and I was just messing about, and so I just wanted that little buffer, but I don't know what subclass they should use. And on top of that, another question I have is, of course, the tech arts customization. So, of course, we have techniques, and the main one that I care about is going to be grants, because this is the main one that we use against Malevolent Dark False Aegis, Malevolent Dark False Soulless. Like, what exactly do I level up for my grants? Do I go with the additional strike, or do I go with the elemental down factor? I feel like if I were to be a team player, the elemental down factor would be more useful against bosses, but when I'm in like PSE bursting, is this one better? Like, I can't really decide. I'm leaning towards type 3 at the moment, but let me know in the comment section below all of my force mains out there, because I'm super curious and I would like to get your opinion on things. Then the next one is, of course, the Fiore. You know, the fire one, I really only use this in like the limited time quest, because a lot of the mobs there are either weak to fire or ice. And so with this, I feel like, is it just gonna be attack range? Or I think actually all three of these sound pretty good: attack range, attack speed, as well as elemental down factor. So you know, again, let me know in the comment section below what should I use for the Fiore. And for Zan, it's I don't know about the wind one actually. For wind, would it be... Yeah, I don't know which one to use for wind either. I have a feeling people are just going to be telling me to just use elemental down factor for all of them, because that's like the main job for the force. Is like, yeah, you're doing some damage, but the main benefit of having a force is getting that elemental down, and that way you can deal a lot of damage. So I think that's going to be what I'm going to be maxing out. As you can see, I do have enough to immediately get to level 10, so my PP cost will only increase by 5%, but elemental down factor plus 100% and compound technique gauge accumulation by 20%. This is actually really, really nice. But I'm not going to do it yet. I'm just going to wait until I read the comments in today's video, and then I will make my decision. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, our skill tree over here. So when we go to the Force skill tree, there's actually a new technique, or new. I don't actually know if it's new or not, but it is the Rod Attack Impact. I've never seen this before until I started playing the Force yesterday, and it is absolutely awesome. For my friends who don't know what this skill does, it builds up a gauge when an enemy is hit with a technique multiple times, which is going to be very often, because you're either like chain lightning everything, or you're spamming light abilities against Dark False Aegis or Soulless or whatever boss you're fighting. Once the gauge is maxed out, a certain number of normal attacks will become more powerful, and it's actually like a gigantic AoE. It kind of reminds me of Marshall. I don't know what the guy's name is, the Gravity Kid in Marshall, where he's like Gravitos, and then it's like this AoE gravity smashing thing. It looks really cool, and I'm actually going to show you it against the training dummy right now, because I really like the ability. Well, I just like how it looks, and it's actually super useful in PSE bursting, because it does good damage and it kills stuff really quick. So as you can see, when we're casting Zonde over here, the main thing I want you to pay attention is the little buff right on the bottom right above our dive attack over here. So with the power of editing, I can zoom in onto that ability so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So now you can see that this little wand icon is full. It's basically the same icon as your normal attack. So when this buff is active, you can simply just normal attack, and you're going to do this gigantic AoE. Watch this. Boom. Boom, boom. It's so cool. And you can do it 6 times. So it's really, really awesome. So that's really nice. Now, I don't know what the other buff is. I feel like, is this just like a photon bullet? Is that just like the photon? Yeah, I think if it's just the photon missile bullet thing. But I didn't know that it just naturally charges up. I thought you actually had to hit an enemy, or you had to like counter or weapon action dodge an enemy in order to get the magic bullet or the photon bullets or whatever. But apparently I think it just recharges normally, so that your next charge attack will just shoot out the photon bullets, which is pretty nice. Other than that, you know, my bar over here, or my sub palette, I just have Photon Flare, obviously. I have my Photon Blast, and of course I have all of the different compound techniques. The compound techniques are really nice. I really like them. So just for fun, we're just gonna do a Duel Quest Phase 3 over here, just to show you guys my playstyle. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're charge. Okay, we have a lot of big abilities ready. I'm guessing we just down him next, and then we can use these big abilities. I feel like I shouldn't be running away from him. I feel like running away from him is making him just use a lot of his gap closers, and instead I should just play like really close as if I was melee. So now we downed him, so we'll use our big compound thing. We'll activate this, we'll use our photon blast, and then we'll use our normal attacks. Boom, boom, boom. But like, even then, I feel like, oh, we did get an S rank. Okay, so we literally just made S rank. So 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Oh, I guess they did do the change, was it? Did they change it already? 2 minute 30 seconds or below is S rank. So we still managed to get an S rank. So that is pretty nice, but I'm still not comfortable with the Force class. Like, I still don't really know how you're supposed to maximize damage there. Am I really just supposed to kind of treat it like a Braver, where it's you just want a weapon action as much as possible so that you get the photon bullets? So let me go to the class counter to kind of explain what I'm doing over here. Because when we go to learn class skills over here, you've got Force here, right? So there's an ability called Elemental Bullet, that's what it's called. After successfully negating an attack, the next technique you use will also fire a photonic bullet of the same element. So this is the thing why I keep weapon actioning in order to shoot that out. And then we also have Elemental Bullet Extend. If you refrain from attacking or dodging after using a technique, you accumulate elemental bullets. So yeah, I'm still pretty lost on how the Force plays, but I was able to get an S rank on that duel quest, which was pretty nice. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comment section below. Am I playing the Force absolutely wrong? Or is this really how you're supposed to play? Like, in order to maximize damage, like, I just have to be in the thick of things, constantly weapon action into charge techniques and stuff like that. And then on top of that, also let me know, when do you charge technique? I feel like charging the technique that like 2 seconds or like 1 second or whatever, it's so difficult to fully charge a technique. I felt like there were so many times in that duel quest that I was just kind of using the regular spam attack instead of actually charging it up. And another thing is, of course, the fire ability over here. Like, it says after hitting an enemy a number of times, the seal of flame is engraved. I know it's that little red triangle looking thing, but is there an easier way to see it? Maybe it's on his HP bar. I don't actually know. I wasn't paying attention to the boss's HP bar. Maybe there is a symbol that shows you that he's got the mark, but this was very difficult for me to see, so I didn't know when to use a charge attack in order to hit him multiple times. Or do you even need a charge attack? Let's see. Flame and Seal isn't great. When you hit another fire technique, it explodes. Okay, so no, you don't even need a charge attack. There's a lot of things I don't know about Force yet, so I'm still learning. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.